Pleased to be joined by one of us out of Mounds View, Minnesota, playing his high school hockey with the Tino Grace before an early departure for the U.S. National Team Development Program. Now, gold medalist at the World Juniors and budding Gopher hockey star, Oliver Moore. How are we doing, buddy?
We're doing great. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great to have you. Opening question for all of our guests, a little bit more obscure, lighten the mood. Be honest, how long did it take you to see that the Minnesota Wild logo was not just a nature scene?
I honestly didn't even know that. So until now, I haven't looked very in depth with the Minnesota Wild logo, but we can go in depth here if you guys want to. It'll be fun.
That's great. Oh, this is a perfect answer. So you haven't looked at the logo and noticed like it's basically a bear head?
Well, yeah, I actually didn't know. I thought it was just like I didn't really look into the logo at all. I just thought it was a cool logo going up. Yeah.
Oh man, that's great. This is awesome. Yeah, the river's the mouth, the star is an eye, the sun or moon or whatever we're gonna call it is an ear. But yeah.
There's a lot of great detail in there for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. I caught you with a curveball on that one.
Yeah. Well, perfect.
What was your first Wild jersey? Did you have stuff growing up? Did you have a player that you kind of watched?
Yeah. Oh, I think for me, I remember when I was a kid, I had the opportunity to go to a Wild when they played the Blues in the playoffs. And I remember watching Zach Parise. And I think I got his jersey after that game or something like that. And he's one of the reasons why I think I wear number 11, just because obviously he had a lasting impact on the Wild. So, for sure, I think it was him. He was my first jersey and probably one of my favorite players. But as I got older, I really liked Fiala, and then obviously now Kaprizov was super fun to watch. So, yeah, a lot of good players that come through the Wild.
You said, and I thought I said somewhere you said about like McKinnon was one of your guys you looked at, and then Larkin too, or how did that kind of come to be?
Yeah, I think in terms of skating wise, I mean, I'm obviously not at the level that McKinnon is yet, but I just love watching him play. I mean, the way he uses his legs in all areas of the game, and then similar with a guy like Larkin too, just how they both use their brain and their legs to their advantage. And I think that skating is definitely one of my strong suits. So it's just fun to watch those guys in the league for sure.
Definitely. And talk more recently here, obviously getting a chance to represent your country, go out and win gold and do it in the championship against the host country. Like just the whole experience beyond winning gold. What was that all about?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I mean, so we kind of got together in the summer for like a camp, I'd say. It was like the top 40 guys. And then we got selected to the team, obviously, after the first half of the season. And I was fortunate enough to get an opportunity. And then we went over to Sweden. And like you said, like that whole tournament, the guys there, we had to blend in such a short period of time. I think we were together for 4 weeks. And we're honestly, you could say we're brothers, like spending so much time together over there in a different country. And then winning, the way it ended, the way the whole tournament went was just storybook, especially with the 04 group. I mean, they played at Sweden in U18 Worlds 2 years ago, and Sweden got the best of them in that game. But for us to get a little revenge on them too, it was awesome. And it was just that atmosphere was ridiculous and something I'll never forget for sure.
And that rivalry is just kind of starting to bud out of nowhere too, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, so I've played for 3 years now, and I feel like ever since the first time I played him, there's always been a little something there, especially with my age group. And then, like you said, like it's really getting going now, I feel like, for sure.
Nice. And going over there with a handful of teammates too, obviously makes it a little bit easier trip, but anything like different, anything goofy that happened over there that like you kind of saw a different side of teammates going on this trip, or not so much?
Oh yeah. I mean, not so much. I think, the NTDP does something special to kind of create a form of brothers. I mean, you're with the same exact guys for 2 years, and you don't really get that often. So to see like the friendships that they had with, especially Snugs and Chaz, with their team over there. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same. Everyone's kind of the same in that situation, and it was just super special. Everyone could be themselves in the environment we created, and it was a lot of fun.
you mentioned the USNDP program. It's a rich history there. A lot of players, current Wild players there with Faber and Bold, things like that. But obviously, really, rich high school hockey scene in the state. Like, what went into the decision of going there versus high school hockey? It was just more so like the kind of the pedigree and pro guys that came through there.
Yeah, honestly, it wasn't an easy decision for sure. Like you said, high school hockey in Minnesota is something that, I'm still watching today. It's something that we all love to follow, I think. And playing at the XL was definitely one of my dreams growing up as a kid. But, yeah, I think overall, I mean, when you get asked to play for your country, it's hard to turn down. And, I think just the opportunity to be able to, like I said, represent USA internationally. And obviously I think it gives me the best opportunity to be where I'm at here with the Gophers as well today. So, yeah, super thankful for my time there.
And talk about the time then with World Juniors. I don't know if this is total coincidence, if anything happened, but start of the year, 2 goals, 10 assists, 12 points in your first 18 games. Since that, 12 games played, 5 goals, 12 assists, 17 points. Like, we've definitely been seeing you've gotten more comfortable. We're seeing a lot more offense being created. Anything that you attribute to that, or is it just getting thrown with awesome line mates?
I think, it's a mix for sure. I mean, obviously, I was playing with Rhett and Jimmy at the start of the year too, but I think it's, you can gain a lot of confidence from an experience like that overseas. And, we didn't take a break. I think I mentioned it before, but yeah, I mean, we were competing against the best guys in practice from our country every day over there. And you get to learn a lot from those guys as well. And then obviously internationally playing against the best U20 players, you can take things from other guys' games. You're just studying over there. And coming into the second half, obviously, we're off to a good start here as a team as well, which has helped. And it's been a lot of fun.
Obviously, being a local kid, everybody assumes it was going to be Gophers all the way, going to school. But I know with somebody like yourself, I'm sure a lot of schools were interested in recruiting you. Like, what were some other ones that were intriguing to you, other programs that came after you? And was there anything special about your Gopher visit that they showed you a good time?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, when you grow up, you're watching the Gophers. As a kid, like, there's so many kids even today where I'm, you just love going to the games as a kid, the atmosphere here and everything. And it was always in the back of my mind. Obviously, I took a couple other visits, and I didn't want to just come here because it was the Gophers. I wanted, to be in a spot where I was going to develop as a hockey player and as a person as well. And I think that after coming on my visit here, I just thought it was the right place for me. I mean, just the culture they have here, and the goal of winning obviously is something that's in every program, but it was something that was really emphasized here. And yeah, I mean, I think we're in a great opportunity to do that this year. And yeah, it was just kind of everything that went into my decision though.
What are those visits like? Obviously you see in movies for basketball recruiting trips, you have other guys, previous veteran players take you out for lunch or wherever like that. What was your visit like? Was like Faber host you? You see Nyes and Cooley too, or what was your visit to the Gophers like?
Yeah, so I think I committed my 17 year. So it would have been Cooley wouldn't have been in, and those guys were all 18s. But I was talking to Snugs. Snugs is obviously on the 18 team, so I talked to him a little bit. And then came in here. It was nice for my official. They flew me in and everything, and my family was already here, so we got to go to a game. I think they took me out to lunch before the game or something. Got to go to a game, and I think they actually played in Michigan. It was a good crowd. And then after the game, just kind of went home, talked to my parents, and the next day I got to actually go to the dorm and kind of see more of the campus with, I think it was Nyes at the time who kind of showed me around his dorm and a little bit around campus. So it was, obviously when you're with a guy like that, really reliable, so it was fun.
Nice. And what's it like now that you're actually on campus? Like, anything different than what you expected? And who are you rooming with your Chicago Blackhawks teammate?
Yep. Yeah. So I'm roommates with Sam Renzel, which is pretty cool, actually. I remember that whole thing. We knew we were roommates before the draft, and then just so happened we got picked to the same team. But yeah, I mean, campus here it's unbelievable. I think, any kid coming here, you obviously see the hockey and you see all that, but just the school here and the atmosphere around campus as a hockey player is something that, it's super special, honestly. And, everything I expected and more, I think, for sure.
Nice. And are you pretty plugged in on social media? Do you like tune it all out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on it a good amount, I'd say. I'm on Instagram, just kind of what regular kids doing, just scrolling around. But
yeah,
I mean, I don't post much. I don't think, guys, but
yeah,
I got to get more active. Yeah.
What's your big thing off the ice? Are you a big golfer, I guess, or what's your kind of hobbies that when you have spare time, that you get into?
Yeah, I mean, you guys know summers in Minnesota are the best. So, I mean, I got a membership at a club down here in Blaine. So it's actually TPC, Twin Cities, super nice course. My dad was a big golfer growing up, so I think that's probably my main hobby outside of hockey. Yeah, we go wake surfing in the summer too. Go up to the cabin, which is always a fun time. So, yeah, just summers here are the best.
Who's the best golfer in the Gophers?
So we had a little golf competition at the beginning of the year, and I think best overall golfer is probably Jimmy Snuggerud. He's a stick. You can go – there's a lot of guys, honestly. Mike Kester's pretty good. My team actually won it with Mike Kester's, me, and Sam Renzel. But we got actually a lot of good players on the team. So I'll have to go with Snugs, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mentioned, like, your speed and your skating is your number one strength, and that's been your whole career. I understand you were a sprinter, too, in track. I don't know if there's any translation to that or does it make it harder when you used to being a sprinter to go train yourself to kind of skate in different ways, or how did that kind of play into your speed?
Yeah, I think just playing different sports was so big for me growing up. My dad, I always wanted to play hockey, and I just wanted to train and play hockey. And you see all these kids these days, like they're like training a bunch 5 days a week on the rink, and then they're playing on the weekends. Like, I think for me, the biggest thing, my dad just said, you're not going to train until you're a certain age. I think it was like 12 or 13 where he said you can start actually doing like skating instructions and stuff like that. But yeah, like you said, I loved like running. So I was did track and played soccer actually growing up too, which I think helps me a lot with hockey. And yeah, just those experiences playing other sports are something that as a kid, I'd definitely say helped me.
I think your trainer back in the USNDP said that you can go up there with McDavid as far as speed goes. I don't know if you'll be the fastest skater at some point, but obviously that's pretty high praise with, the ability to skate around the ice. But that's something to take pride in. I don't know if that's something you've ever thought about before in terms of matching up with guys in the NHL as far as we're skating, like them and Larkin. Yeah,
I mean, something that, obviously, like you said, like my skating is kind of my strong suit. So I don't know if I'm a Connor McDavid level skater. Obviously, that's my strength coach saying that. But, obviously something that you want to keep improving and you want to get as good at as possible because in the NHL, you see the elite players in the NHL, they're great skaters too. So, yeah.
Do you ever feel bad just like torching past people and it's not even fair?
I mean, I feel like I got to do that more often, honestly. But, yeah, I never feel bad. It's always one of the better feelings, I think, in hockey when you're just able to skate by someone. But, it's always fun.
Let's chat a little bit then about the just overall draft experience, which, I mean, kind of crazy that they're going to go away with the in-person drafts in general. But, I mean, talk us through it. Like, how cool, like, how surreal is that experience, and who all went with you for draft day?
Yeah, that was unbelievable experience. So, we got in it was in Nashville, obviously, which, by the way, is unbelievable city for it as well. Great food, great people. We got in a couple days before the draft and kind of experienced the city a little bit, had a couple last-minute interviews, and then, obviously draft day, my strength coach from back here, Carson Foursome, was with me. Skating trainer came out as well, aunts, uncles. We had a bunch of friends go out too. Just kind of on their own, family members, and then obviously my family, my mom, my dad, brother, and sister. And I think that was the coolest part of it all, honestly, was just being able to like see the joy on their face and all the work that they put into me growing up. It's, it's really a tribute to them at that moment. It's not really about me. And it's cool to put that into perspective at the draft. And obviously a dream come true getting drafted by an NHL team. So.
Yeah, like obviously one of the more fun things for us as writers is doing mock drafts and reading the tea leaves on who's going after who and who's going to fall to 20-something for the Wild. And you mentioned interviews. Who all did you interview with? What teams were the ones that were kind of showed the most interest kind of leading up to draft day?
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple. I remember I had my 2 last-minute interviews were with the Jets, the Winnipeg Jets, I think. I don't even know if I can say this, but the Jets.
Okay. And then, you're already drafted now. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm already drafted. Doesn't matter. And then the Bruins actually had a last-minute interview with me, which was pretty interesting because I thought I was going to be slotted on the first day in the first round, and they didn't have a pick. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting. But
just immediately text all your buddies like, "Hey, Bruins are making a trade."
Yeah, I didn't say anything. I didn't want it to get out, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, that was pretty crazy. And then, yeah, I think you interview with teams at the combine as well and throughout the year, so you don't get a great feel for who's going to draft you, but you definitely get a good feel who's interested in you.
You have experience with the Wild too? Did they? I mean, I'm sure at the combine they talked to you at least. So
yeah, I talked to them throughout the year too. They're for sure. I mean, they were kind of in my range a little bit, I'd say, and yeah, I didn't know at the time who was going to draft me, but fortunate it was Chicago. Really, really fortunate it was Chicago for sure.
You said that you're like pretty plugged in on social, but don't really post yourself. Are you aware of just how many Wild fans were like punching holes in their walls when Chicago took you?
I actually wasn't. So my dad might be a little even more plugged in, and he was telling me like, oh, like there are some Wild fans that aren't too happy, but yeah, I mean, I was close to them for sure, and that was funny though. It was funny to see. He showed me a couple tweets or whatever. It was funny.
It was a full out meltdown. We do a live stream every year for the draft, and just like there was zero room for happiness.
Yeah, Billy Stram was a good player though too. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, did you get a chance? Like, did you get interviewed at all by Stevie Y?
Oh yeah, so he was my first interview at the combine actually.
What a way to start it! Like everyone talks about how bizarre his like approach is, and like just how like stone cold serious he is. Like anything you can shed from that without trading company secrets?
Oh no, honestly, I just remember he was a great guy. I mean, it wasn't super uptight, just kind of a looser interview, and yeah, I didn't have that experience with him. No, like really super tough questions from him, but yeah, I just remember obviously he's super respectable with his NHL career, and yeah, it was cool to meet him honestly.
Yeah, what was the weirdest question you got from someone? Like I know they always try to test guys and put them in different situations. Like what's the most fun or weird question you got in the whole process?
I mean, I feel like that honestly for me it was just the animal one.
I was just gonna make that as a joke.
Yeah, it was just the animal one. I mean, there was a couple. I remember I got asked by a team. It was just like they gave me some scenarios and just weird scenarios that I never thought I would get asked, and I had to answer those. But other than that, I'd say it was the animal one. Animal on the ice and off the ice. Oh, I got to turn on the lights in here again. Let's move.
Motion sensor. So what animal?
Oh, I said off the ice, I was like a golden retriever or something like that. I don't know why. And then on the ice, I said I think it was like shark or something like that. Something pretty basic.
Nice. All right. Love that. Now, this might be a conflicting question, but let's hear it. This year, if you've been following the NHL, which I'm sure you have at least to an extent, who should win the Calder Trophy?
It's funny because we were just debating about that a little bit in the locker room, and I don't know. I mean, obviously, if a Gopher with Faber, he's having an unbelievable rookie season, but it's a tough question. But I think Bedard is also having obviously a great campaign with his rookie season as well, and it could go either way. We'll see. I'm excited to watch that down the stretch, though.
There's a spot for you in politics one day.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe.
How much have you gotten to know Conor a little bit? I know I'm sure in camps and like the draft, like how much you got to see him, and like obviously the hype around him is off the charts for a guy to handle the situation like he has.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that. Obviously, so getting drafted on the same day to the same team. We had the little Blackhawks after party, and I got to meet him there. And first impression was just solid, really great guy. You know, people talk about the hype he gets. You could never tell with the way he acts and the way he approaches the day-to-day, just from being at dev camp with him too. You know, he's just a normal guy and seems to be a great teammate. Obviously, you guys see the way he handles the media and stuff. It's not easy I mean, I can imagine it's not easy how much media he gets, but just how professional he is and how process-oriented he is and the way he handles it is something that, you know, I'll definitely try to emulate.
And obviously he started his career right away in the NHL, and everybody's dream is to play in the NHL. Just what's your overall feel on your development so far and kind of where you want to be in terms of being ready for the next steps? I'm sure people will be asking you, you know, next couple of months of if you're going to be following that footsteps of going to the NHL or if you're spending some more time in school.
Yeah, I mean, obviously my first half of the year it's a big adjustment for sure. Just playing the schedule that we have, I think we have one of the better schedules, and the teams we play, the players we play on a nightly basis in college hockey it's a lot of fun. And yeah, honestly, I'm just focused on that right now and haven't really thought at all about next year, kind of what's to come. But yeah, just super, super excited for the next, you know, couple weeks here. We got a big couple of weeks and just focused on that.
Have the Blackhawks give you a lot of feedback at all in terms of, hey, you need to work on this? Or I'm sure Motzko and those guys have given you feedback too in terms of making some steps, but overall what things you need to work on or feel like you need to improve on here at this level?
Yeah, for sure. I think they have a great development staff at Chicago, and just being able to talk to them, I mean, they have a lot of resources there. And I think some of the things that they kind of say is just overall game. I think that's the big thing. And if you can just get better at something every day and just try to improve every day, that, you know, at the end of the day, you're going to become a better hockey player. So that's kind of the direction from them. But obviously a great coaching staff here with Gordo and Killer and Coach Motzko too to kind of help me with that as well.
Nice. Who do you think you fit better with on a line, Bedard or Celebrini?
Oh, I don't know. I think I was talking to Connor a little bit at Dev Camp. He said he likes playing with fast players, so I obviously might know him a little bit better too. So let's just say, yeah.
Do you have a favorite Snuggerud story since you've been there? Favorite off the ice? Seemed like he's a pretty fun dude to be around and stuff like that. Other than his golf prowess, do you have any favorite Snuggerud moment that you've experienced?
No, I just think showing up to the rink with that guy every day is awesome. I mean, he's obviously a great player on the ice, but he's an even better guy off the ice, and he's always cracking jokes. I think just making me laugh all the time. Just the way his charisma and the way he kind of acts around the rink. I don't have anything specific, but yeah, obviously one of my good buddies and someone I hang out with for sure.
We have room for a couple more questions before we let you go. Who's a Gopher that doesn't get enough attention right now on your team? Who's a guy that's kind of been maybe under the radar? You guys have had so far?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of guys, honestly. I think, you know, a guy like John Middlestad, just the way he works out there. I mean, he's played on the fourth line, been kind of in and out of the lineup some of the year, but he's really established himself, and, you know, he has wheels, and he works so hard. I think a guy like Cal Thomas too, just so steady, playing with Sam. There's so many guys on the team. Just off the top of my head, those are a couple though.
Yeah, grade the take, because I said it last year. I'm saying it again this year. I feel like maybe Xfactor isn't the right word, but the one guy who, like, the nights he shows up and pops, like, it's just a totally different dynamic for the team. Aaron Huglin.
Yeah, as you were saying, I was gonna say it's Hugie too.
Yes. All right. Confirmed.
Yeah, I think that's a good take. I mean, he shows up a lot for us, and he's a great leader on this team too. So yeah, he's really getting going though there in the second half as well, and it's been fun to watch.
Nice. Joe, you got any more? Otherwise, we got the final question.
No, let's hear, since he's a big golfer, you can answer this one pretty well.
That's right. So we've got our Waggle Golf question of the interview. GetYourWaggleOn.com, promo code SP10 for 10% off. Question: who is your dream golf foursome? And bonus points if you tell me what course you're going to be playing at.
Wow. Really put me on the spot. I think let's start with Kobe Bryant.
Oh. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, he's obviously for obvious reasons. Wayne Gretzky. Let's go. Honestly, Christian McCaffrey. I really, watching this year, he's been someone I want to get to know better. And then let's go with Cristiano Ronaldo. That'd be cool.
Wow.
Wait, did I leave myself out of that?
You did. You did. I wasn't going to say anything right away, but yeah. You kind of did.
Right, well, those are 4 guys I'd love to play golf with someday.
Yeah.
And I'd say if Augusta could make an exception for a 5-some, I'd go there with them.
Yeah.
There we go. I like that. Yeah. Christian McCaffrey. What a freak. And
freak of nature. Yeah.
My wife, she's also a fan, but not for football reasons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure.
Well, awesome.
Thank you so much for coming and joining us today in between practice and school. So it's been fun to watch you guys this year and see the development of a lot of the guys. And I'm sure the Blackhawks fans are curious too of how you're doing. So they'll love to listen to this. So thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. It's a great talk.